So guys, welcome to the chat. All right, this is my live chat. Okay, now I'm gonna be breaking down the KCM strategy. Right, I'm gonna be breaking down the KCM strategy real quick on this chat. All right, and so I told you the K stands for the key level. Right, now the key level is where you talk about your support and resistance levels. That's where you spot institutional zones. Right, now then the C stands for confluence. Right, that's the confluence over here. Right, now this confluence is this where you look for your order block, you talk about your trend lines, you talk about liquidity sweep. All right, now you go over to the market structure. These are the 3 steps you need to repeat. Under market structure, you're looking at if market is creating higher highs, lower lows, or breaking structure. All right, so this is just like a sketch of what the KCM strategy is all about. All right, is the King's Crown model. All right, now so let me go over. This is a GPP JPY chart. Let's just run through this step. All right, now on the monthly time frame, right, on the monthly time frame, we want to do the first step of the KCM strategy, which is key levels. All right, now let me zoom out a bit. What are you seeing on this chart now? Let's spot out the 2 key levels of support and resistance on this chart. Just hold on now. Okay, so I can see this level here, I can see this level here, right? I can see this level, I can see this level right now, I can see this level, right? I can see this level. All right, so these 2 level now, this is our key levels. Okay, and then we are done with the first rule, which is spotting the key level. All right, now let's check for confluences. What are the confluences supporting this? Now let's go for trend line. Draw a monthly trend line from this point. I'm taking it high, the second touch point, and I took it up. All right, so I can see that trend line, the monthly trend line, is being respected. All right, is being respected because price went up, then bounced on it, price went up again, and now we're expecting a further dip. All right, this is top down analysis, guys. This is top down analysis. Okay, this is top down analysis. Hold on, I'm trying to change the color of my trend line. Trying to change the color of my trend line. Let me just see. Okay, I think I know the problem, right? Yeah, okay, so yeah, I'm back on track, guys. So yeah, like I said, I drew the parts, all right, to show you that the trend line is being respected. Right, so the trend line is being respected. Let's just go over it again. Right, price is respecting this trend line. I had another dip. All right, so another expansion. All right, impulsive move there. So we had a consolidation around this area. So in other news, we can be expecting the third touch, that's a further dip based on a monthly time frame. All right, this is already giving us reasons to be like, oh, okay, we're expecting price to sell because price just hit a major key level on the monthly time frame. All right, now going over to the next confluences, let's check for order block around this area. All right, and also let's check for liquidity sweep around this area. Now I can say price has just swept a liquidity, all right, on the monthly time frame. All right, because price took out this high, all right, so I could say this was the liquidity that has just been swept by price. All right, so this is the high. I'm going to change the color. Okay, this is an SMC divergence too, is another form of liquidity. Okay, this is SMC divergence. All right, another form of liquidity, SMT. All right, it has happened, yeah. So let me just change the color to something more visible. Okay, I'll change the colors. Yes, okay, so you can clearly see that price has swept this liquidity. Now let's check for order block. Now let me use this rectangle tool to draw out another block. I can see another block around this area, so you can see that price has done this just from using this KCM strategy. Yeah, you can just look at the whole data that have just been opened onto us right now. Okay, so you can agree with me that this is a systematized approach you can always repeat when you come to this chart. All right, so price has swept liquidity, price has hit order flow. All right, now price is still printing higher highs and lower highs. Right, now let's go on to the weekly time frame. So this is just how we come into the chart, and then we do our analysis and wait for our setup. All right, now this is the weekly time frame. Remember, you are aligning this with a top-down analysis. So this is the weekly time frame right now. So you can see this is a supply zone right now. I'll use this to mark it out for you. So this is our supply zone. So this is a supply zone right now. So this is our supply zone, right? So we're expecting supply to hold. All right, now you can spot at least a head and shoulder kind of pattern. All right, now we know why the head and shoulder is forming. All right, I can see, you can see, you can see, you can see. Now we understand why the head and shoulder is gonna hold. All right, so we're expecting a dip at least around here, the third touch before price would spring up. Okay, but this is still on a very high time frame. This is a weekly time frame, but what can you spot here on this weekly time frame? Right, what can you spot, guys? What can you spot? You can see price is already rejecting nicely. How many times price has touched here, this zone, and it keeps rejecting. All right, it keep rejecting. Price keep rejecting, keep rejecting. So you can see what's happening. There's a huge institutional order around this zone. All right, there's a lot of institutional order around this zone. So this is how we build this context gradually, just using this KCM strategy. All right, now we are building reasons why we are thinking of taking a sell trade around this zone. All right, so you have to build the story. You have to make sure that your story is aligning well with the price action. Okay, now let's now narrow down to the daily time frame. Given a daily time frame now, let me zoom in properly. This was the last place. All right, now you can see that a CRT has happened here. Right, liquidity has been swept. Let me show you guys. Liquidity has been swept. A new head and shoulder pattern is already forming. All right, the same thing you did on the higher time frame, you're still gonna do it on the lower time frame. All right, now let me just quickly sketch out the new head and shoulder pattern that is forming on this chart right now. Okay, so let me take from this zone here. Right, let's say this is the head, let's say this is the shoulder, let's say this is the right shoulder. Right, nicely rejecting. Right, so we won't be surprised if we start seeing price dipping. All right, we won't be surprised if we start seeing a sell move as of next week. All right, so this is the price action right now. So tell me why I'm going to be buying this trade when I'm seeing that the top-down analysis is showing me that there's a potential reversal sign about to happen. All right, so go here now on GBP JPY as at the date I'm doing this analysis. All right, as at the date I'm doing this analysis, this is what you're waiting for. You're waiting for this trend line break. You're waiting for this trend line break, and yes, it's already broken. It's already broken. Now we're gonna get our confirmation if price close below this level. All right, that is only when we can get a confirmation to enter this trade. All right, if I see a daily candle close below this level, I'm expecting a sell. So now this is how we were able to frame this trade right here, right now. So this is what we're waiting to see, and then we can take the sell trade, right? Placing stop loss above here, and then targeting all the way. Now this is 4 hours now, guys. I just want to build a trade setup real quick, 1:5, real quick. real quick. You can catch this trade with me for next week, real quick. All right, so this is what I'm looking at. This is what I'm looking at on GJ, on GBP, JPY. All right, this is what I'm going to be looking at. Isn't this beautiful? Isn't this beautiful? This is what I'm looking at. If this trade breaks out of here, let's just still tighten this stop. Let's just put it here, guys. Let's just put it here. So this is a 1 to 5 hour trade, just from this simple analysis breakdown using the KCM strategy. All right, now anytime we see price close with full body, once price close with full body within this range, guys, you are taking this sell trade, and I'm going to be taking this trade. I'll share it with the community. So anytime we see a full body close around here, then you know that the sell trade is ready. All right, have you seen how we're able to build a trade setup targeting at least a 1 to 5 return on the investment, guys? 1 to 5. All right, this is a 1 to 5. This is a 1 to 5 trade. You're risking 100 to make 500 on this trade. That's what it means. All right, so if you want to be taking this trade, of course, that means you have watched the video. All right, so this is the trade we are waiting for on GJ using this KCM strategy. All right, now in my subsequent video, I'm going to be showing you how we have used the KCM strategy to get a lot of how we have used the KCM strategy to secure a lot of trade. All right, even by testing it right now, you can see that this same level, this same key level right now, you can see that this trade played out. This trade played out beautifully well. This trade played out. All right, it played out to this origin. So price is already giving us another rejection around that same point. If this trade played out and supply held, so we're likely going to see this other trade play out, right? Because it's still within the same circle. You can see the head and shoulder pattern formed clearly in there. You can see this, and then this was the last raid of liquidity. So we might be expecting another last raid of liquidity before our next trade run. All right, and then price went all the way down to this point. All right, so stay tuned and stay onto the channel. I'm going to be breaking more details on how you're going to be using the KCM strategy for your trade. And if you watch this video to the end, I want you to like, subscribe, share this video if you get some value from this video. All right, I like to come up here sometimes and do this with you guys, and we're building the community, and I believe that a lot of traders will find this video impactful. All right, so see you in my next video. I remain your boy, the executioner FX guy. All right, love you, catch ya, peace out.